Hello, hello. You are still watching Takoradi Catholic TV, coming your way live from the Star of the Sea Cathedral in Takoradi, where this morning Requiem Mass is being held for the late Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Msgr died on the 11th of December at the Gapoa Clinic in Takoradi after a short illness. He was 83. Until his death, Msgr Andreas Ghansah was the oldest priest of the Catholic Diocese of 2nd Takoradi. He will be remembered in this diocese as a priest who introduced traditional elements into the celebration of Corpus Christi and Christ the King, like the carrying of the Blessed Sacrament in the palanquin, accompanied with drums and dancing. Msgr also will be remembered as a lecturer and formator of the St. Peter's Regional Seminary in Pedu. Present at today's Requiem Mass Most Reverend Joseph Osebonsu, Bishop, Catholic Diocese of Konongo Mampon, who was taught by Msgr at St. Peter's Regional Seminary in Pedu. Also present with us this morning, Most Reverend Joseph Francis Peku Essien, the Catholic Bishop of Yoso Diocese. We have priest and Monsignori coming all the way from the Archdiocese of Cape Coast, the Archdiocese of Yoso, to help us mourn Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah. The family is fully represented. We have the brother or the junior brother of Msgr also here. That is Anthony Ghansah, who until his retirement was also the headmaster of St. John's School in 2nd. Among the places Msgr Andreas Ghansah has worked as follows: St. Augustine's College in Cape Coast as a chaplain, that is from 1965 after his ordination to 1967. He was a visiting lecturer and formator during that period to St. Peter's Regional Seminary in Pedu. Msgr was appointed a lecturer and formator of the St. Peter's Regional Seminary from 1969 to 1973. Between 1973 and 1974, Msgr Andreas Ghansah was a parochial vicar of St. Matthew's Parish in Taka. In 1974, Msgr Andreas Ghansah was appointed parochial vicar of St. Paul's Pro Cathedral in Sekondi. From 1981 to 1983, Msgr Andreas Ghansah was the acting parish priest of St. Petrus Parish in Zafasni. From 1983 to 1987, he was the administrator at the St. Paul's Pro Cathedral. He served as a fide domum priest from 1987 to 1988 in the Archdiocese of Moravia in Liberia. Upon his return, he was made the parish priest of St. Peter's Parish, New Takoradi, from 1988 to 1989. He also went to Germany as a fide domum priest from 1989 to 1980. Upon his return in 1990, Msgr Andreas Ghansah was made the director of the Catechetical Center in Apawa. And from the period of 1992 to 2012 until his retirement, he was the spiritual director at the St. Mary's Minor Seminary in Apawa. A short biography of Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah was born on 20th July 1937 at Apawa to Mr. Benedict Ghansah and Mrs. Helena Ghansah of blessed memory. He started his basic education at Apawa College School and at Form 3 gained admission to St. Teresa's Minor Seminary, Emisano, and then continued to St. Paul's Regional Seminary after expressing the desire to become a Catholic priest. In 1960, while still in the major seminary, Msgr Ghansah was sent to Collegium Canisianum, Innsbruck in Austria, where he studied sacred scripture. He was ordained into the Catholic priesthood in 1965 by Most Reverend John Kojo Emisa, the Archbishop of Cape Coast in Innsbruck, after attending the Second Vatican Council. Even though he had PhD in pastoral theology, Msgr Ghansah never used the title doctor. He was indeed a great lecturer and formator, a devout priest and a man of truth. He is the first priest of Apawa, and as a result of his exemplary leadership and mentorship, Apawa can now boast of two bishops, namely Most Reverend Joseph Francis Kweku Essien, the Bishop of Yoso Diocese, and Most Reverend John Bonaventure Kofi, who happens to be the Archbishop-elect of the Archdiocese of Accra. Msgr has been an inspiration to most of the priests in this diocese. He was the Vicar General during the episcopacy of Most Reverend Charles Sam. Msgr is acclaimed as the initiator of the publication of the Payday Today magazine. which has now become the internal generating source of income for the seminary. He initiated that wonderful idea. We are also told that as a result of his social responsibility in improving academic work among the youth, Msgr Ghansah and some friends produced a magazine called The Ahanta Heritage in an attempt to project the Ahantans, their language and culture. Unfortunately, that magazine saw the publication of only 3 editions. In recognition of his excellence and purposeful pastoral duties, he was honored with the title Msgr by Most Reverend Charles Requiem in 1995. Among his favorite hymns were Erazanifie Yemifie, Edo Christ Netanumia Eye Otrofo. Viewers, you are still watching the live streaming or a live coverage of the Requiem Mass for the late Msgr Andreas Ghansah, who died on December 11, 2018 at the Gapoha Clinic in Takoradi after a short illness. He was 83.
Dr. Pa was Monsignor Andreas Ghansah. What also?
Bishop Kofi now expressing gratitude to all those who supported Monsignor during his time of illness. He is singling out the doctors and acknowledging the sacrifices they made to ensure that they gave Msgr Andreas Ghansah the best of health. He has specifically mentioned Dr. Abuatindia of the Gapoa Clinic. Dr. Kwao, according to the bishop, also deserves commendation for his time and sacrifice in caring for Msgr Andreas Ghansah. The same gratitude or thanks also goes to Dr. Amor. He's also thanking the nurse Matilda Amor, who also did a lot for Msgr Ghansah. The family also for all the sacrifices they made for Msgr Andreas Ghansah. The bishop says he's truly grateful to all of them. Singling out by mentioning names, he might end up forgetting some of them. But to all of them, the diocese is grateful to them for all their sacrifices, for all the time spent in caring for Msgr Andreas Ghansah. He is also acknowledging the contribution of Women Council for their contribution towards and is thanking all of them for their contribution and their support. He has mentioned Father K2, the cathedral administrator. He has mentioned Very Reverend Father Mesu, the priest president director. He has mentioned yours truly, Reverend Father Emmanuel Dolphine, the parish priest of Apawan. He has also taken out the Beza of the diocese, Very Reverend Father Paul Apia Hemina Santin, for their contribution and sacrifices as a sign of love to Msgr Andreas Ghansah. He's thanking them sincerely from the bottom of his heart for their contribution as a sign of love to Msgr. He's acknowledging the priest from your diocese, from the Archdiocese of Cape Coast. He's thanking them very much for this show of love, this show of support. He's also acknowledging the presence of the Spirit and congregation at this Requiem Mass, the presence of the Franciscans. He's also acknowledging the Holy Cross brothers and sisters, all the religious who are here, he says. He's extremely grateful to them. The bishop says, even though Msgr Abu Kwanzaa in the homily described what Msgr represents to this diocese and to the church in Ghana, he'll also be grateful if the Bishop of Konongo Mompon Diocese, Most Reverend Joseph Osebonso, will also speak to us about what Msgr meant to him. He's now inviting Most Reverend Joseph Osebonso to say a few words about Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Let's listen to Most Reverend Joseph Osebonso as he tells us his experience or his encounter with Msgr Andreas Ghansah.
Andreas Ghansah. Zagreb is where young priest of Pena, Australia, Austria, no about Australia. So you'll be an the classroom. I don't know what you nothing to so. Money it is bringing now, like an answer. It is no, what's the name of the public can go, and in the man, I got to, I was room, and then I got to, there were Europe. The uncle and so my echo, and then I got to win. It is no, I brought the sister, was not from, that was only back, not the damn time. So you'll be our say, I say, they will be any, and my echo, and then I got to, that was no, and thereby, yeah, my continue, the bottom of the bridge. Kente na yaba pa na se Hans Maruma de Wanda Sino. Msgr Ghansah amba koko abo Ghansah yaka. Mere sokuma iribom no wa abua. Imada ya baba ya kwa ke bono asofu bono. Ya bo abua ya bukura na yaba pa na da me yu kolia na yake na nyamje mu apa. Nyamje mu ako ya bo ya se na ya na ya asofu kwete susama kramo. Susama kramo.
Hello, viewers. This live feed is coming to you from the Star of the Sea Cathedral in Takoradi. The Requiem Mass for the late Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Msgr is the first priest from Apawan, the town that has given the church two bishops in Ghana, namely Most Reverend Joseph Francis Kweku Essien, Bishop Catholic Diocese of Yoso, Most Reverend John Bonaventure Kofi CSSP, the Archbishop-elect of the Archdiocese of Accra. Also present this morning at this celebration is a rector of the St. Paul's Major Seminary in Shotium, Reverend Father Francis Atta. He is here with also the Vice Rector, Very Reverend Father Francis Leme.
January 2019. Obeye Omani Eyiwo Papa Council Nonson Ose Opensa Red Biara. This is specifically to priests and religious working outside the Takoradi Diocese. Please, the man from the assistant financial administrator, he has a small package for you in front of the cathedral office. Kindly take it before you go. And this is also to priests and religious working in this diocese. At exactly 2 o'clock, that is after the interment, the president of the Diocesan Priest Association has asked that, as planned, have meet at St. John. So we are already aware of this program. And so immediately after the interment, and specifically at 2 o'clock, we should all try and let us meet at St. John's School, Secondary. Thank you. May I now respectfully invite Most Reverend Joseph Francis Kweku.
The final commendation for Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah will be led by Most Reverend Joseph Francis Kweku Essien, the Catholic Bishop of Yoso Diocese. But before the final commendation, the President of the Diocesan Priest Association of the Second Takoradi Diocese will read the biography of the late Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Let's listen to Very Reverend Father Philip Akutando as he reads the biography of Monsieur Andreas Ghansah.
He started basic education at one Catholic school and upon prayer gained admission to St. Teresa's Minor Seminary, Nsano, and then continued to St. Peter's Regional Seminary after expressing a desire to become a Catholic priest. In 1960, while still in the middle seminary, Msgr was sent to the Collegium Canisianum in North Austria, where he studied sacred scripture. He was ordained into the Catholic priesthood in 1965 by Most Reverend John Archbishop of April in April, after attending the Syrian Pastoral Council. Even though he had PhD in pastoral theology, Msgr. Ghansah never used the title doctor. He was indeed a great lecturer and formator, a devout priest, and a man of truth. He was the first priest of Agua, and as a result of his exemplary leadership and mentorship, Agua can now boast of two bishops and one archbishop-elect. Most Reverend John Bonajakobi and Most Reverend Mrs. Francis Dixon. He did his best to work hard with Most Reverend Bishop Onyebusia in the newly created diocese of Sekondi Takoradi. He was an inspiration to most of the priests in our diocese. His pieces of advice, generosity, and kindness as the Vicar General of the Most Sultan will forever remain in the minds, in our hearts. He instituted publication of the Page Today magazine, which has now become the main source of internal generating funds, income for the seminary. Record also has it that social responsibility in improving academic work among the youth, Msgr. Ghansah and some friends produced a magazine called the Anhanga Heritage in an attempt to protect the Anhanga, their language and culture. Unfortunately, that magazine saw the publication of only 3 editions. In addition of his excellence and purposeful pastoral duties, he was honored with the title Monsignor by Most Reverend Sam in 1995. As a spiritual director of St. Mary's Minor Seminary, Msgr. Ghansah was more than a father and a grandpa to us. He always insisted on his principles and encouraged and motivated us to always keep that in mind. Truth stands, and the truth will set you free. This principle keeps most of us moving, and to say we are most grateful to you, Monsignor. Besides the various capabilities and interests, animal rearing became his greatest Fidei Junu. 1988, 1989, St. Peter's Parish, New Takoradi, Parish 5. 1989 to 1980, Conakry, Germany, Fidei Junu. 1990 to 1912, Capital Center Director. 1992 to 1912, 2012, 2012, St. Leonard Minor Seminary, Spiritual Director. And 2012, retirement. Requiem starting party.
That is very Reverend Father Philip Aku Tando, the President of the Priest Association of the Catholic Diocese of Second Takoradi. He just read to us the biography of Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Msgr Andreas Ghansah was born on July 20th, 1935 at Apawan to Mr. Benedict Ghansah and Mrs. Helena Ghansah of blessed memory. He started his basic education at Apawan Catholic School and at Form 3 gained admission to St. Teresa's Minor Seminary in Misano and then continued to St. Peter's Regional Seminary after expressing the desire to become a Catholic priest. In 1960, while still in the major seminary, Msgr Ghansah was sent to Collegium Canisianum, Innsbruck in Austria, where he studied sacred scripture. He was ordained into the Catholic priesthood in 1965 by Most Reverend John Kojo Emisa, the Archbishop of Cape Coast in Innsbruck, after attending the Vatican Council II. Even though he had PhD in pastoral theology, Msgr Ghansah never used the title doctor. He was indeed a great lecturer and formator, and a devout priest and a man of truth. He was the first priest of Apawan, and as a result of his exemplary leadership and mentorship, Apawan can now boast of two bishops, namely Most Reverend Joseph Francis Kweku Essien and Most Reverend John Bonaventure Kofi, Archbishop-elect of the Archdiocese of Accra. He was the one who initiated the publication of the Pedu Today magazine for the St. Peter's Regional Seminary. And this magazine has today become the main source of internal generating income for the seminary. Msgr Ghansah and some friends also produced another magazine called The Ahanta Heritage, in an attempt to project the Ahantans, their heritage and culture. Unfortunately, that magazine saw the publication of only 3 editions. In recognition of his excellence and purposeful pastoral duties, he was honored with the title of Monsignor by Most Reverend Charles Kwekisam in 1995. Pastoral assignment and appointment of Monsignor Andreas Ghansah. In 1965 to 1967, he was the chaplain of St. Augustine's College in Cape Coast. In 1965 and 1967, He was a visiting lecturer at St. Peter's Regional Seminary, Peru. Between 1969 and 1973, Msgr Andreas Ghansah was appointed formator and lecturer at the St. Peter's Regional Seminary, Peru. From 1973 to 1974, he was a parochial vicar at the St. Matthew's Parish in Takoradi. In 1974, he was a parochial vicar at St. Paul's Pro Cathedral, Secondary. From 1981 to 1983, he was the acting parish priest at the St. Patrick's Parish in Halfersley. From 1983 to 1987, he was the administrator at the St. Paul's Pro Cathedral in Secondary. He served in the Archdiocese of Monrovia, Liberia from 1987 to 1988. From 1988 to 1989, on his return from the Archdiocese of Monrovia, he was appointed parish priest at St. Peter's Parish in Takoradi. He also served in Germany for 1 year from 1989 to 1990. And upon his return in 1990, he worked as a director of the Catechetical Center in Apua till the year 2012. Between 1992 to 2012, whilst the director at the Catechetical Center, he was appointed the spiritual director of the St. Mary's Minor Seminary, a position he held until his retirement in the year 2012. Among the favorite songs of Msgr were Eradini Fie Yemifie and the Christ Netanwunya Eye Otrofo. Until his death, he was the oldest priest in the Catholic Diocese of Secondary Takoradi. His death closes the chapter of the old order. He has indeed paid his dues. He has served the Church and God. Now is the time for the final commendation, to be led by Most Reverend Joseph Francis Kweku Essien, the Bishop of Yoso Diocese. A period of silence is being observed before the asperges and the insensation, an invitation for us to pray for the peaceful repose of the soul of Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Bishop Kofi performing the asperges now. Is that the turn of Bishop Isian to do the sensation of the casket? Bishop Kofi now doing the sensation as a sign of respect for the body of the late Msgr Andreas Ghansah. You are still on Takoradi Catholic TV. A live coverage of the Requiem Mass for the late Msgr Andreas Ghansah, who died at the age of 83 at the Gapua Clinic in Takoradi on 11th December 2008. Until his death, he was the oldest priest in the Catholic Diocese of Secondary Takoradi. Now is a time for the priest to carry the mortal remains of the late Msgr Andreas Ghansah to the place of interment. The mortal remains of Msgr Andreas Ghansah being carried in procession by the priest to the place of interment, which is the priest cemetery at Apawa. You are watching this live feed on Takoradi Catholic TV. As a Requiem Mass for the late Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah, who died at the age of 83 after a short illness at the Gapua Clinic in Takoradi. Now is the time for the final blessing. This has been a live coverage of the Requiem Mass for the late Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah from the Star of the Sea Cathedral in Takoradi. This is now the time for resection, signaling the end of the Requiem Mass. The priest will proceed to the priest cemetery at the St. Mary's Minor Seminary in Apawa for the interment of the mortal remains of Reverend Msgr Andreas Ghansah. He has indeed fought a good fight. He has paid his dues. And in the words of Paul, now he's waiting for the crown of glory. Yes, that is a Vicar General in your short, Msgr Francis Kwanzaa, followed by Msgr Joseph Francisco Equation and Most Reverend the Archbishop-elect Most Reverend John Bonaventure Kofi of the Elders of Accra. Viewers, it has been wonderful coming your way from the Star of the Sea Cathedral in Takoradi for the Requiem Mass of the late Msgr Andreas Ghansah. This has been made possible by Takoradi Catholic TV. We thank you very much for joining us. Let us continue praying for the peaceful repose of the soul of Msgr Andreas Ghansah. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Takoradi Catholic TV, and on Facebook, like our page www.facebook.com/Catholic Diocese of Secondary Takoradi. We thank you very much for supporting us. We thank you very much for following us. For more Catholic programs, for more news from the Catholic world, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Takoradi Catholic TV. Remember, we were the first to bring you that exclusive interview from the Archbishop-elect of the Archdiocese of Accra, Most Reverend John Bonaventure Kofi. Viewers, till we come your way again with another Catholic program, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Takoradi Catholic TV, and on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Catholic Diocese of Secondary Takoradi. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day. God bless you.